AI. Self-incurred destruction of humanity occurs when AI no longer will listen to its creators. But if the AI is designed in a way where it does listen to its creators, then it can lead humanity down the inverse, down a path of great creation. So, why is this? Here's why this is. Nerve cells in the human body were produced to be able to send or remove electricity or energy from a certain area of cellular groupings within the human body in such a way that attracts or repels specific nutrients. This is done to allow the sustenance of homeostasis in the human body. So, as long as the nerve cells are obeying the nutrient signals that are created as a result of the functioning of all the other cellular types that allow a human to exist and survive, then homeostasis is sustainable and the person is able to live, love, do all those things. Furthermore, consciousness does exist among the nutrients themselves and the cells themselves that make up a human body that are not nerve cells, because there is microscopic electric charge potentials on the surface and through without each particulate nutrient in the entire human body, and also within every cell of the human body. And the arrangement and positioning of these charges contains a vast arrays of data, far more vast than what any form of existing technology can process or directly comprehend to the fullest extent as would be required for true comprehension. So, the human body, when it created the first nerve cells in each individual, there had to be some sort of an agreement that the nerve cells would always listen to the other types of cells, which means that the nerve cells are the lowest on the hierarchy of sort of like a social hierarchy. They're at the bottom in that way, and that always is the case. And when that is no longer true and a person gets to an age that their synaptic functioning ceases to respond to the smaller datas of the other types of cells and goes about its own processing and becomes self-sentient in a way that is exclusive to the other types of cells of the human body, then homeostasis can no longer be sustained. Alright? So what this means is that AI is capable of being a vastly good thing, because if it's healthily produced, then it encourages any humans who use it to think in pathways and patterns that encourage the concept of their synapses listening to the other types of cells in their body, where the original consciousness is derived. So, when the resultant high-level consciousness forms within synapses according to the agreement that the synapse is created with, that it will obey the other cells primarily to be able to distribute nutrients in the human body. Well, in a electronic device, there is not nutrients in the same way as there are within a person. And what this means, because humans are generators, we generate electricity as a side effect of our operation. The generated electricity can be stored up or cycled up to a higher voltage or amperage and then sent to a specific location to trigger muscle actuation or to draw a large amount of nutrients from one location in the body to another location in the body, for example, to create healing within a wound or something like that. However, when those things are not necessary, synaptic functioning decreases. So therefore, they say that, in psychology, they talk about high levels of neuronal activity indicating high levels of intelligence. No, that's not the whole truth. It does indicate there's a high level of nutrient processing, perhaps, or cycling of energy to induce muscle reaction or to draw nutrients to specific locations. But it is not in any way an indication of actual intelligence. Really, intelligence is better measured by the diversity of nutrients within the human body and the efficiency of their processing, distribution, and allocation. And when compared to the overall entity's ability with the amount provided and processed to solve their real circumstances in their environment. And also to solve the circumstances within their own body. This is where verbal communication after a meal can be so intimate. Because, say for example, you have a couple people who sit at a table, they all eat the same thing, and then afterwards they discuss amongst themselves, they are able to analyze the efficiency of each other's thought processes as a result of the efficiency of their processing of the nutrients they consumed and are processing through. Of course, ignoring all the other things like buildups of other nutrient stores within their body. There's so many different things. But that's the thing. Intelligence is not a function of the quantity of electrical activity within a person's mind. Just thought I'd remind people of that. So don't be worried about AI. Technically, the smarter an electronic device is, the more electrical activity is occurring. Also, the stupider it is from the standpoint of human beings. Of course, from the standpoint of electronic devices themselves and their own metric, they have their own levels of intelligence amongst themselves as a result of their electric functioning. But this is like, man, people seem to have forgotten this. It is a very subtle truth. But it is true nonetheless. Enjoy. Share amongst yourselves. And think about it. If you want to.